Glen, a lot was contributing to Winnipeg's 0-4 start to this season. Unthinkable when you would look at the way the Bombers have been the last few years. And certainly injuries were a big part of it. Most recently, their starting quarterback, Zach Collaros, couldn't play. So on comes Chris Streveler, and they're looking to get the running game going as well, not only with him, but of course with Brady Oliveira, who's had a slow start to the season.
Very slow start. And sometimes offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators can really outthink themselves. They can start to create things that aren't there. You know that Brady Oliveira will run through a wall for his teammates and to try and get that first win. And he had his breakout game. And I think Buck Pierce did what the Bombers have done well through the past 4 years with running the football, and Brady Oliveira being the heart and soul of that. But they also had Chris Streveler at quarterback, so they involved him in the run game, and they did what they know they can do well. And together, they did it well. 212 yards rushing, 129 for Brady Oliveira. He did miss a couple of series, but he came back in late in the game, and they sealed the deal and got their first win.
He got the 129. Streveler on the ground got 79 yards. Here's what he had to say to John Liu after.
Chris, how satisfying is this, especially in the context that despite an 0-4 start, your club was not panicking. You were sticking to the program.
We know the fight that we have in this locker room. We know what our pillars are as a team. We talked about focus this week, and we played our brand of football. We ran the ball today. Our defense got takeaways. Our defense made humongous plays, and we made enough plays on offense to score points. This dude's clutch. He made some big kicks today. Just a team win, and it feels good.
Yeah, let's talk about Sergio Castillo. I mean, the fact we don't talk a lot about special teams in close games, but 6 for 6 with field goals. This really underscores the team win.
That's Big Papi, man. That's Big Papi. He made some big kicks. He's made some really big kicks for us this year. And even on special teams, running down, hitting guys. We talk about 3 phases of football and how that sets the tone. When we had that big hit, it set the tone for our sideline. It got the juice going. And we just played good 3 phases of football. I'm just proud of our guys, man. We fought hard.
And Brady Oliveira, you and he, a two-headed monster. I mean, a lot was execution, but how much of that was the overall game plan for you guys to try to wear down the defense to that extent?
One of those things where if it's rolling, it's rolling. And we were running the ball well on first down. He ran hard, man, and I love being back there with him. He brings intensity, and he's a heck of a player, and it was great to see him get going today. And hopefully we can just build off this moving forward.
Thanks for this, Chris.
Thank you. Let's go.
Don't overthink it. When it's rolling, it's rolling. And for the Bombers offensively, the run game was rolling.
He talked about all 3 phases. I mean, praising, and rightfully so, Castillo for going 6 for 6. Absolute money. What about the defense, too? Another guy, another one of the star veterans, just had a slower start to the season, at least hadn't mentioned his name as much, but Willie Jefferson had some big plays in this game.
Yeah, well, that's been the formula for the Bombers throughout the last few years. It's been a good running game, grounded by Brady Oliveira on offense, and Willie Jefferson being a one-man wrecking crew and getting him and the defense going, turning the ball over. They won the giveaway takeaway category tonight, +3. Willie Jefferson caused a fumble that was a turnover and gave the Bombers offense good field position, but it felt like the Willie of old, just wrecking things on offense for Ottawa all night long.
For Zach Pelias, the right tackle, looked like he had the block on him, but that reach going in, forcing the fumble. Classic Willie Jefferson standing by with John.
Willie, despite the start to your season, the core of this club, the veterans, the leaders there, you guys were keeping your teammates propped up. Can you just say what this is going to do for your club?
It's just a resiliency, man. You know, we've been here before. You know, got to face adversity. We got to find a way to fight against it, right? We got a lot of young guys, got a lot of older guys banged up. The young guys are starting and things like that. Right now, what we need is the leaders to step up and show these young guys what we need to do as a team, what it takes to play Winnipeg football, and especially when we're at home in front of our fans and things like that, we got to come out here and play our A game.
Speaking of leaders, Brady Oliveira goes over 100 yards for the first time this season, but he and Chris Streveler really appeared to wear down the Ottawa defense. How satisfying is it for a defensive player like yourself that you were not on the field as much as you had to be?
It's, you know what I'm saying, that's complimentary football, right? Offense, defense, special teams, man. If the offense can go out there and impose their will, especially, you know, on the run game with Streer running the ball, with Brady running the ball, with the offensive line pushing the line and giving them some time and things like that, giving us some time to catch our breath on the sidelines, you know, that's just complimentary football. You know, we appreciate it.
When Drustin Crum relieved Drew Brown at the end of the first half, After what Dustin Crum did against your club just around a year ago, how wary of you were of his abilities and what he would try to execute against you in a close game tonight?
You know, Crum is a good quarterback. You know, for that team, we know what kind of quarterback he is. Like you said, last year, he came in and stepped in and made some plays for his team, was able to get the win for him when on the road, when we was on the road and things like that. So we know what kind of quarterback he is. This week during practice, during film study and things like that, we didn't just talk about Drew. We talked about Drew. We talked about Crum. We talked about the wide receivers, the running backs, the offensive line. So we already knew if he was going to come in the game, how to contain him, what he liked to do, which way like we know he's a runner. You know what I'm saying? He can throw the ball as well, but we know if if we get in the backfield and get some pressure in his face, he's going to want to pull the ball down and run it.
Thank you for this, Willie.
Thank you so much.
I still with classic Willie Jefferson.
Yeah, you could listen to Willie all night
on
long.
the field and near a microphone too. But let's talk about the reason why Dustin Crum was in this game, and that was the injury to Drew Brown, making his return to Winnipeg for the first time since leaving the Bombers for the Red Blacks. But really tough to see when he got hit in the head late in the first half.
Yeah, I think the league will be looking at a couple of hits from this game. One is Reda Kramdi just before halftime on Drew Brown. It was a hit where Brown was trying to slide here. Now, the timing of the hit isn't all that bad, but when you look at it in slow motion, you will see that there was a forearm from Kramdi, and he drove the head of Drew Brown into the ground as well. He left the game there, went in at halftime, and we got the report right after from Coach Dice that he would not return. So probably supplemental discipline. We'll see what the league does. There was one the other way as well. They'll probably look at that one also. See if guys are a little lighter in the back pocket after this.
That would be Tobias Harris actually in on Chris Streveler. But for the Red Blacks, though, well, they fall to a record of 2-2. They're in Edmonton next week. And as for Winnipeg, a lot of pressure off as they finally do get the first W. And they're back here next week against the Calgary Stampeders.